Please give a warm welcome to the Executive Director of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, George Orphanakos.
All right, how about that for a little drama? Yeah. Good evening, and thank you all for joining us for our 10th annual gala. Tonight we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Gennadius Library. We thought we'd bring it to you. A century ago, on April 23rd, 1926, this library was inaugurated, ushering in a new era for the American school. I encourage you now to take a look at your gala program. Move your tortellini aside for a second. And you can read more about that historic day. You'll actually find a reproduction of the dinner menu that they served that night, because we like to keep things at the American school. We thought it'd be better to share with you the menu, not the actual food. This is a particularly meaningful year, as 2026 also marks the 145th anniversary of the American school and the 130th anniversary of our excavations at ancient Corinth. Give them a round of applause, and I hope you took a picture in the beginning. That is one of the school's defining projects, which has transformed our understanding of one of the great cities of the ancient Mediterranean. But we also are here tonight to present the American school's prestigious Athens Prize to a distinguished archaeologist, dedicated Philhellene, trustee, and friend to so many people, Jack Davis. Jack is an individual whose distinguished career has deepened our understanding of the ancient Greek world and strengthened the enduring ties between American and Greek scholarship. His interests in Greece extend far beyond archaeology, and his impact has been felt across every part of the American school. Now, I want to let you on a little secret, and I think you might appreciate this. If you're joining us for the first time, we do things a little different here at the American school. We keep our speeches actually really short. But what we do is we have decided to educate and inspire people through film. Now, originally we started these films sort of as gala films, but they've taken on a life of their own, and I'm proud to say have received international recognition. They're all available on our website. So tonight, I'm just going to ask you for a favor. When the films come out, we're showing 2 films tonight. They're short documentaries. If we could just have everyone's attention, because they're really fascinating. So on behalf of the American School, I welcome past honorees who are here with us this evening and who have generously supported this event. We're pleased to acknowledge the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, represented by Vasilis Tsamis, and we thank you for being with us today. They were here honored in 2018, as well as our 2022 Athens Prize recipient, Ed Cohen. Where's he sitting? Ed. Now, before we begin and before we launch this program, thank you to our friends who have sponsored tables. You have made this evening a success and contributed to the silent auction, really. Everything we do at the American School, we're a privately funded institution, so it depends on your generosity. Everything you see wouldn't happen if there was somebody standing behind us. So we encourage you tonight to place your bids on the auctions throughout the evening. You do that on your phones. And you can also just make a direct contribution if you don't want stuff. My wife likes stuff though, so I'm not going to say that. The funds raised tonight enable the American School to preserve, promote, and protect Greece's past through archaeological exploration, through conservation, through research, through publications. Over there, you can take a look at them, don't take them home. But exhibitions, and academic and public programming. Now finally, it's funny. You put people in a room and you only talk to the people next to you. And that's the worst thing you can do. Because in this room, you have some of the most accomplished scholars of the Greek world, from prehistory to the present day. And I'd like to ask them to stand for a second. If you're a scholar, an academic, managing committee, please stand for a moment. Give them a round of applause. Ed, stand up first. Don't be shy. Let them know where you're sitting. Brian Rose, they're gonna interrupt you. There we go. Seek them out. See, I gave you their GPS where they are. I acknowledge you to meet them. Go over, interrupt their dinner, take their dessert. Some may be at your table. And now, ladies and gentlemen, shh, thank you. We're quick. I was the longest one. And it is my great pleasure to introduce to you a giant Phil Helene, a man who has inspired me every day that I come to work. The president of our Board of Trustees, Rob Loomis.
Well, thank you, George, and our heartfelt gratitude to you and your team for making this evening possible. I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to the honorary co-chairs of this event, Malcolm and Carolyn Wiener, as well as to our Gala co-chairs, Nicole Hunneman, Jackie McCabe, Sulami Strauss, Bob Pounder, and Catherine Yatrakis. For their invaluable contributions to the success of this evening. Dear friends, tonight we gather to celebrate a remarkable milestone, the 100th anniversary of the Gennadius Library, and to honor our Athens Prize recipient, Jack Davis. The Gennadius Library stands as one of the great achievements of the American school, a testament to the vision of Ioannis Gennadius and to the enduring importance of preserving and studying the full breadth of Greek history and culture. For a century, it has served as a vital center of scholarship, enriching our understanding of the Greek world and inspiring generations of students, scholars, and the public alike. This evening, we also recognize Jack Davis, a scholar of exceptional distinction, a devoted member of the American school community, and a trustee. His work has profoundly advanced the field of Greek archaeology, and his commitment to the school reflects the very spirit of inquiry, collaboration, and generosity that defines our mission. More broadly, tonight is a celebration of the American school itself, a legacy built over 145 years through dedication, partnership, and shared purpose. That legacy is sustained by all of you, our trustees, our overseers, our emeriti, members of our managing committee, our academic community, and our extraordinary staff in Athens and Princeton, who have put together this entire evening without any outside help or expense. So that every dollar raised tonight supports the school. I would ask those of you who serve in any of those roles, or in several of those roles, to please stand and be recognized so that we may express our gratitude for your invaluable contributions. Many trustees, overseers, emeriti, managing committee, community, staff, As you enjoy this evening's program, I hope you will find inspiration, not only in the history we study, but in the vibrant community that continues to advance it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite to the podium the chairman of the overseers of the Gennadius Library, Andreas Zomenakis.
Thank you, Rob. One of the great privileges of my life is to serve as chair of the Gennadius Library Board of Overseers. It's both an honor and a profound responsibility, one that connects us directly to the vision and legacy of Ioannis Gennadius. Our role as overseers, as stewards of that legacy, is not only to preserve what Gennadius so generously entrusted to the American School, but to ensure that the library continues to grow as a living, dynamic center of scholarship and cultural engagement, preserving and promoting post-classical Greece. Today, that commitment is reflected in the expansion of our academic programming, a wide range of exhibitions and lectures, traveling exhibitions, and of course the Thalia Potamianos lecture series. This work is made possible by the dedication and generosity of an extraordinary group of individuals who I am honored to work alongside. It is one thing to have a vision, but quite another to bring it to life. The Gennadius Library's new academic program could not have been possible without the generosity of Fiona Xantopoulou-Schwartz, Catherine and Peter Yatrakis, Zoe Sarbanes-Pappas. Our Thalia Potamianos lecture series would not come to fruition without Fokion Potamianos. They are with us tonight, and I would like to ask them, along with all the other overseers here, to please stand and be recognized for their invaluable contribution. It's a privilege to work alongside each and every one of you. You are as passionate as you are generous, and your vision will continue to shape the future of the library as we look forward to the next 100 years. Finally, none of this would be possible without the extraordinary work of the Gennadios staff. Though small in number, they bring to exceptional dedication, expertise, and care to everything they do. So, thank you. At the center of this effort is none other than my friend and the director of the Gennadius Library, Maria Georgopoulou. Her leadership, her fortitude, and her unwavering vision have guided the library with distinction and purpose. It's my pleasure to introduce the director of the Gennadius Library, Maria Georgopoulou.
Thank you very much, Andrea. It is a great honor to stand before you tonight as we mark the centennial of the Gennadius Library. At the heart of this moment is an extraordinary act of generosity. In 1926, Ioannis Gennadios entrusted his collection to the American School, not simply as a gift of books, but as a vision, one that affirmed the importance of Greece before antiquity and the value of preserving its intellectual and cultural heritage. The building itself was conceived as a space for scholarship, reflection, and discovery. Over the past century, the Gennadius Library has become a vital center for the study of post-classical Greece, shaping generations of scholarship and deepening our understanding of the Greek world. It has been the highlight of my professional career to serve as its director since 2004. This past year, we have marked this milestone in meaningful ways. A few weeks ago, we opened our Centennial exhibition, Gennadius Library 100, A Century of Inspiration, on view from April 1st through July 26 in our Makrigiannis wing. I warmly encourage you to make time and visit, and I wish to extend, amongst others, my sincere thanks to Marianne Gouras for her generous support. As we look ahead, our commitment is to share the library's knowledge as widely as possible through lectures, such as last evening's Thalia Potamianos lecture, and through traveling exhibitions that we fully expect will bring our collections and knowledge to broader audiences. At this moment, and with special thanks and gratitude to the Kalinikion Foundation, whose trustees are with us tonight and whose generosity made this production possible, it is my pleasure to introduce a new American School short film documentary entitled Gennadius Library, One Gift, His Vision, Our Future. May we kindly have your undivided attention. Thank you.
To get to celebrate one's 100th birthday is obviously an exciting milestone, because you have to understand what it is that the institution has done, how it started and how it has changed.
Οπότε εδώ έχουμε αντικείμενα που δείχνουν έτσι την αρχή της πορείας ακριβώς.
Φτιάχνεται μία έκθεση που είναι η μικρογραφία μιας βιβλιοθήκης. Είναι η συλλογή, αλλά είναι και η ιστορία, είναι οι άνθρωποι της Γενναδίου από την αρχή μέχρι τώρα, οι δωρητές, είναι οι φίλοι της Γενναδίου, είναι οι επίτροποι της Γενναδίου που μας επιτρέψαν να έχουμε σπάνια πράγματα.
The Gennadius started as a repository of an amazing collection of books. About 30,000 books that were donated by Ioannis Gennadios. So what we have tried to do in the exhibition is to think of the vision of the founder and how this changed over time.
Ο Γεννάδιος ανήκει στην πρώτη γενιά των Ελλήνων, οι οποίοι ζουν σε ένα ανεξάρτητο κράτος και ψάχνουν να βρουν τη θέση τους μέσα στον κόσμο. Έχασε τον πατέρα του σε πολύ νεαρή ηλικία. Επηρεάστηκε όμως βαθιά από τον άνθρωπο αυτόν, ο οποίος έχει μείνει γνωστός για τη συμβολή του στον αγώνα για την ανεξαρτησία, αλλά και την οικοδόμηση των πνευματικών και εκπαιδευτικών θεσμών της σύγχρονης Ελλάδας.
Gennadius' father was a book collector, so he probably fell in love with books at an early age.
The upper middle class in Europe in the late 19th century revered learning because of the contribution it could make to national life. And so he began to collect at some point in the 1880s with that in mind. He'd moved to England before he was 20 to work with one of the great Anglo-Greek merchant dynasties of the time. And then he'd broken with them at the time of a very famous brigandage case in Greece, the Dilesi murders in 1870.
There were a group of Western travelers who were traveling in Greece and They were kidnapped by bandits, and a ransom was sought, and in the process, lives were lost.
So this creates a huge issue in the British press, and the Greeks are called barbarians. So Gennadius, he's warned by his employers to stay out of it. And despite that, he sits down and writes a 109-page pamphlet, which he distributes to British parliamentarians, rebutting all these accusations. He loses his job as a consequence, but he becomes a national hero in Greece. And in a way, that marks the course of the rest of his life.
Οπότε εδώ έχουμε έτσι ένα από τα δωμάτια της οικίας του Γενναδίου στο Λονδίνο. Αυτή η κούκλα εδώ που θα φορέσει την στολή, τη διπλωματική του Γενναδίου.
As a diplomat, he basically served his country before, during and after the First World War, a time of tremendous upheaval in the life of Hellenism.
He was one of the early champions of what we would today call cultural diplomacy. So he harnessed what Greece could offer through its culture, through its history. And he did so in a way that I think enabled him to get attention and to draw support from those he was engaging with in London society and elsewhere.
Ioannis Gennadios tried to show through his writings in newspapers and through his book collection that the history of Hellenism had not died with the end of the Hellenistic period, against the grain of what British intellectual thinking was at the time.
The vision was of a Greece that had ceased to produce anything of interest after the end of the classical period. That was how many people in Western Europe understood Greece. That was what they went to Greece to see.
It was even still the case when I was a student. Many people didn't even want to go to the Hellenistic period, much less into Byzantium.
Without it, it's impossible to understand either what was before it or what came after it in this part of the world, the Mediterranean and Europe and the Middle East.
Gennadius knew that was not right, not true. And so he did make it his mission to promote the contributions that the Byzantines made and transmitted to the modern European world.
His vision of Greece was comprehensive. It was a continuum from antiquity to the present day.
As he was getting old, he was worried about what was going to happen to his personal library. The Greek state in the middle of the Greek-Turkish war couldn't afford to build a library. In early 1922, John Gennadius was in Washington, D.C., and there he sat with members of the managing committee of the American School of Classical Studies. He confided his problem about what to do with his precious library. Mitchell Carroll conveyed that to the chair of the managing committee of the American School, Edward Capps. Until then, the focus of the American School was the study of ancient Greece. And it's surprising that Capps was in favor of the acquisition. So the gift was made in 1922.
There it is.
So the American School shall erect a special building for the reception and accommodation of the said library and collections.
To be called the Gennadion, in remembrance of his father, George, the donor and token of his admiration and respect for the United States of America, and in the confident hope that the American School may be enabled to become a world center for the study of Greek history, literature, and art, both ancient, Byzantine, and modern.
And for the better understanding of the history and constitution of the Greek Church.
This is it. This is our lodestar.
Carnegie Corporation agreed to fund the construction of the Gennadius Library, and then the building of the library was completed in 1926. We see a change in the mission of the school. Somebody coming to the school could study medieval Greece and modern Greece.
The initial gift from Ioannis Gennadios pushed the American school and transformed it in a way that it now began to study and research and dedicate its resources to promoting, preserving, and protecting Greece's past from prehistory to present-day Greece.
In the 60s, this becomes more pronounced. The library is connected more with American academia. Peter Topping, he's interested in Frankish Greece. And then Francis Walton is a classicist who embraces the collection.
He wanted to make the library known outside of Greece, which was very important, because as a rare book library and as an amazing research library, it is the equal of collections like the Beinecke Library at Yale. People come here from all over the world to study and to do research.
My name is Hilal Cemile Tümer. I'm from Istanbul, and I'm doing my PhD in history at the University of California in Berkeley. My research is on the forced displacement and migration of the Muslims of Greece during the Greek War of Independence. Very few people are familiar with the experiences of these refugees. I aim to include as many perspectives as I can in my research. Here, there's just such a diversity of sources, from travelogues to memoirs of the Greek generals or chronicles, maps and plans of Athens and other places in the Peloponnese. All of them are housed here. And here in this book, even though it's about the ancient Greek ruins of Asia Minor, I encountered this very short description of the refugees, Muslim refugees who settled in Izmir, in this town called Sığacık. And it's vital for my research because it shows that these people still spoke Greek, even after they migrated from Greece.
My name is Fiona Antonelaki. I am a postdoctoral researcher at the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens. My PhD research was on the poetry of George Seferis and Odysseus Elitis, and since the American School houses both their archives, I came here to find more material for my work. I saw that there was this vinyl record among Konstantinos Tsatsos' papers. These things you don't know until you see them, so it's always a surprise. This vinyl record captures the voice of Angelos Seferiadis, the younger brother of the poet George Seferis, whom we thought that we don't have on record. I was delighted that his voice actually survives.
What we celebrate is Greek identity. And one of the great aspects of Hellenism, it's its resilience and the way it changes and the way that's reflected in costume, in food, in dialects, in music.
Ο ερωτόκριτος είναι αυτός. Ίσως όλοι οι κριτικοί να τον ξέρουν απ' έξω και να μπορούν να το τραγουδήσουν κιόλας τον ερωτόκριτο.
You have sound and music throughout the Gennadius Library, where I can think of the interaction of people with the Erotokritos, the 17th century Cretan Renaissance novel in verse, which was later sung to music in Crete mostly, but all around Greece as well. So for me, working here, you have a way of knowing how people interacted with song. They would actually communicate through music, their news, their sentiments, their aspirations.
Welcome to the opening of the official celebrations of the 100th anniversary of the Gennadius Library. The library has grown, the researchers have multiplied, we have many more fellowships, we have programs where students are taught Byzantine Greek and paleography, and it's a library that is open. And this is something that Gennadius wanted.
It's been a wonderful experience to see this evolution of the library into what I believe Gennadius had really envisioned, which is not simply a treasure house of this extraordinary material that he deposited, but it's also this very human interactive community interested in engaging with how we're thinking about Greece today.
And I think it was one of the most moving moments in my years at the Gennadius. At the end of this concert, in our theater, which seats 400 people, people started dancing in the aisles. Who would have imagined this in a school of classical studies?
If we think of the Gennadius Library as a book, then the first chapter is about Gennadius' original gift that made all of this possible. Today, however, is not the end of that book. The 100 years for us is just another chapter.
You are an incredible audience. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Kalinikion Foundation. Enjoy your dinner. We'll be back.
Είσαι άνεμος που τρέχει, μα που να σταθεί δεν έχει. Στο γυαλί της οικουμένης μια μικρή προγραμμή. Έρχεσαι και πάλι χάνεσαι. Άνεμος είσαι, δεν πιάνεσαι. Έρχεσαι και πάλι χάνεσαι. Άνεμος είσαι, δεν πιάνεσαι. Στη ζωή μου σαν νεράκι της ερήμου που στεγνώνει πριν προφτάσω μια γουλιά να πιω. Φεύγεις και σε θέλω ακόμα δίχως το δικό σου σώμα. Τίποτα δεν θα χορτάσω μες στον κόσμο αυτό. ζωή το φέρνει και οι δυο αρχάγγελοι κάψαν τα φτερά τους στη φωτιά χορέψανε την πικρή χαρά τους. Τη μορία βάλαμε μόνους στη γωνία, το κακό, το θάνατο και την κοινωνία. Δυο φαντάρι πήρανε άδεια απ' τη σημαία, τα τραπέζια σμίξανε, γίνανε παρέα. Βάλανε τα δίκοχα μες στις επομίδες, μέρες μες στα μάτια τους οι αλκιονίδες και οι δυο αρχάγγελοι κάψαν τα φτερά τους, στη φωτιά χορέψανε την πικρή χαρά τους. Τη μορία βάλαμε μόνους στη γωνία, τον κακό, τον θάνατο και την κοινωνία. Κάψαν τα φτερά τους, στη φωτιά χορέψανε την πικρή χαρά τους. Τη μορία βάλαμε μόνους στη γωνία, τον κακό, τον θάνατο και την κοινωνία. Στα τριαντάφυλλα έγιασε μια, στου βράχου φέρετε με την κυκλαμιά. Πάει της καλύβας μου το χέρι γονεί, του κάπου δώστε μου την αναμονή, του κάπου δώστε μου μέσα στα αδέρφη του στο καβαλάρι. Χιλοποριάτικος με τα λόγω του περνάγει έρωτας το πρόσωπο του. Περνάγει έρωτας το πρόσωπο του. Χιλοποριάτικος με τα λόγω του. Στη ζωή σου τούτη δω να ξέρεις γύρω σου υπάρχουν μόνο τείχη. Άλλοι τα είπανε κατάρα και χρήσιμο κι άλλοι τα είπαν ρισικό και μαύρη τύχη. Αυτά τα τείχη τα γκρεμίσαν οι τρελοί κι όλη της γης οι ταπεινοί και οι κολλασμένοι, αυτοί που θέλανε να αλλάξουν τη ζωή και ζουνε τώρα μοναχοί και ξεχασμένοι. Σαν κάνεις μια ναυγή, τα μάτια πίσω σου ποτέ να μην γυρίσεις. Πάρε ένα δρόμο στη ζωή σου κι όπου βγει και που σε πάει αυτός ο δρόμος μη ρωτήσεις. Αυτά τα τείχη τα γκρεμίσαν οι τρελοί κι όλη της γης οι ταπεινοί και οι κολλασμένοι, αυτοί που θέλανε να αλλάξουν τη ζωή και ζουνε τώρα μοναχοί και ξεχασμένοι. Αυτά τα τείχη τα γκρεμίσαν οι τρελοί κι όλη της γης οι ταπεινοί και οι κολλασμένοι, αυτοί που θέλανε να αλλάξουν τη ζωή και ζουνε τώρα μοναχοί και ξεχασμένοι.
Can we just interrupt you for 1 second? We have Jackie McCabe, one of our trustees, who's just going to make a quick announcement, please. Thank you. Let's hear it for Jackie.
Good evening. I hope everyone enjoyed their dinner. On behalf of the Gala Committee, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight and for your extraordinary support of the American School. The gifts at each of your place settings were generously donated by Navarino Icons, and they are tastes of the Mediterranean for you to take home with you. As many of you probably know, the Costa Navarino Resort is about 5 minutes from the Pylos excavation, where Jack, our honoree tonight, and Shari, his wife, and co-director both work. So we're very grateful to Navarino Icons for these wonderful gifts. The delicious wine we all enjoyed with our dinner was a gift of Tiki and Bill Spell. Please join me in thanking them. From their winery in Sonoma County, and I noticed there's a case of their wine in the auction if anyone wants to take some home. Finally, as you leave this evening, you're each going to receive a copy of the book, Homer in the Gennadius, by our very own senior librarian, Irini Solomonidi. And the book will highlight 39 treasures from the library's collection, including first editions of the Iliad and the Odyssey. Now I'll make a brief plug for our silent auction. We're all here tonight because of our shared love of Greece and the American School, and as many of you know, the American School was the first and is the largest of the American research institutes overseas. So if you haven't already, I would encourage you to have a look at our silent auction. All of the proceeds go to the benefit of the school, and the auction closes promptly at 9:25. There is one item in the auction that I'd like to highlight, which is an extraordinary opportunity to stay at the Villa Levanta in the Navarino Dunes, so right in Costa Navarino, and to enjoy a private tour of Nestor's Palace with Jack and Shari, which is very special indeed, and we're very grateful to Jack, Shari, and also to the Bridges for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Again, that's really all, and we'll return for a moment with the continuation of our program in the Athens Prize.
One little public announcement. We've extended the time of the auction from 9:20 to 9:40. 9:40 is the close of the auction. find Bonner? Get her now. Walk her right up. Walk her right up. Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew, run and stop. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're as I wait for Bonner to get up here, I just want to tell you, we did that little unveiling of the Gennadius Library. We weren't sure if it would be cheesy or pretty cool, but I think you might enjoy this. It's a charity event, right? So we called the place, and I'm like, hey, you know, how much is it for like some curtains so we can unveil it? He's like, about $1,000. I went to Amazon. It was $33. I got 4 kids behind there. It's being returned tomorrow. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing with the Athens Prize, and please welcome this is the grand moment, the director of the American School, Bonner Westcott.
Thank you so much, George. Agapiti Feely. It is a pleasure to be with you this evening, and I am honored to serve as the director of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens. It's an organization which has a deep and clear commitment to studying the great arc of Hellenic culture from the earliest evidence of human activity to the present. This year, our stars align over 3 anniversaries: the 145th anniversary of the American School, the 130th anniversary of our excavations at ancient Corinth, and the 100th anniversary of the Gennadius Library. These are remarkable milestones. We have accomplished so much that we now know we have only just begun. These milestones signal the strength of the initial idea, combined with the willingness and foresight to build on emerging opportunities. They signal the commitment of generations of people who share the conviction that the history and cultures of Greece are deeply meaningful to the present. We are the lucky recipients of all who have helped to weave the tapestry of our success. And here tonight, you are also a part of it too. The school has flourished because of the many remarkable individuals whose dedication and passion have generated the energy that takes us forward. People like our Athens Prize recipient, Jack Davis. Jack is a cherished colleague. Yes, that's Jack. We can't clap enough. He's a cherished colleague who embodies all that we admire at the American School. He's a scholar of distinction, a leader in the field, a collaborator and a team builder, and a steadfast supporter of our mission. He is generous in sharing his time and expertise, and he is supportive of others. In my role as director, I have deeply valued his advice on many matters, but what especially sticks with me is the pleasure of the conversation, rich in stories of school history and people, delivered with a dry wit and a ready laugh. To introduce our honoree, it is my pleasure to welcome Kathleen Lynch, a distinguished scholar from the University of Cincinnati. Kathleen is one of our world's leading experts in Athenian pottery, a longtime member of the Agar research team, and a dedicated member of the American School community. She has recently been elected as the next chair of the managing committee. Yes, absolutely. Okay. This is a body of more than 400 leading scholars representing nearly 200 universities, colleges, institutes, and museums whose expertise and guidance help ensure the academic excellence and intellectual leadership of the school. Kathleen.
Thank you very much, Bana. Before I begin, I would like to express my deep gratitude to the chair, the current chair of the American School Managing Committee, Professor Mark Lavoie. He has served, he stood up, but he's going to stand up again. He served for the past 9 years with vision, distinction, and patience. On behalf of the Managing Committee and staff in the United States and Greece, thank you, Mark, for your unwavering dedication for the school. So, Mark, let's recognize Mark. There he is again. Yay, Mark. Some of you saw him, he's quite tall, so I have very big shoes to fill. So I appreciate the Managing Committee for entrusting me with this responsibility. Tonight, I am honored to introduce this year's Athens Prize recipient, my colleague and friend at the University of Cincinnati, where he is the Carl Blagin Professor of Greek Archaeology, Professor Jack Davis. Jack earned his PhD from Cincinnati, but he began his academic career at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Then he returned to Cincinnati in 1993 as the inaugural Blagin Chair. His distinguished career in Greek archaeology spans 5 decades. He has authored 20 books and more than 150 articles, nearly all in collaboration with others, most notably with his co-director and wife, Sharon R. He is one of the most decorated scholars in the field, recipient of the Archaeological Institute of America's Gold Medal for Distinguished Contributions to Archaeology in 2020, Fellow of the Society of Antiquaries in London, inductee into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2024, and Sather Lecturer at the University of California, Berkeley. He has also received recognition for his cultural contributions from Albania and Vatican City, and in 2021, he and Sherry were awarded the Commander of the Order of the Phoenix by the Hellenic Republic. Last year, he was named Big 12 Football Conference Faculty of the Year. Oh. So naturally, the Athens Prize is an appropriate next honor. When I joined the classics faculty at Cincinnati in 2003, my office was across the hall from Jack's, and I, frankly, was terrified of him. But over time, through morning coffee and a shared appreciation for creme brulee, we became close friends. Also, as a young faculty member, I joined Jack and Sherry on excavations in Albania. And the thing about archaeology is that you find yourself relying on each other in unexpected ways. Ask him about the time he took me to see the village nurse, who happened to also be the village shepherdess. More than a prolific scholar, Jack is a devoted mentor and friend. He has chaired the doctoral and master's committees of 27 students. And as he often says, advisees are like one's own children, a lifelong commitment. Many of them are here tonight and are now leaders in Greek archaeology in the United States, Greece, and Albania. Personally, I am deeply grateful for his support throughout my career. With generosity and good humor, he smooths the difficult moments and celebrates your successes. I especially appreciate his encouragement to become involved in the governance of the American School. I would not be standing here tonight as the incoming chair of the Managing Committee without his support and friendship. The film we are about to see highlights his contributions to Greek archaeology as a collaborator, as a mentor, as a friend. Like the olive trees that appear throughout the film, he has deep roots and continues to nourish many. I congratulate him on this well-deserved honor and ask you to give, as you did to the previous film, your undivided attention to the premiere of this short film, generously sponsored by Charles O. Yoder, Jack Davis in Greece, Collaboration and Discovery. Thank you.
There are archaeologists who don't really care about what is happening around in the place they came to investigate archaeologically. But Jack was not that.
Jack is a very open, giving person. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, he's ready to work with you.
He is interested in everything, and I think that is one of the deepest resources that he has.
His interest is in people and how people lived in the past and the contemporary world. He's always looking for these connections. It's a reminder to us too, like how the past continues to resonate in the present.
I wouldn't have come to Greece if it hadn't been for the American school. That was my anchor. But it was an anchor that I could use to explore other aspects of Greece and of the Mediterranean. At the same time, I met so many people at the American school who became lifelong friends. All that really changed my life in so many different ways. Really, every olive tree has a story to tell us about the past. I've specialized in the prehistory of Greece, but I discovered early on in my career that there were other periods of the past that fascinated me every bit as much. It began on the island of Kea, which was the first time that I was seriously involved in this kind of research.
Kea is an affiliated project, and Kea was the training ground for many archaeologists, including Jack.
Archaeology is about what you find, but it's also the people who find it and also the people who inspire you. We have been so fortunate in both the projects we have and the people that we have working here.
A survey is an attempt to understand an entire landscape. And how did that change through time?
John and Jack asked me to participate in this type of survey. It was new.
Putting an archaeological team together to meet the challenges of running a survey is itself a pretty complicated affair. We had several dozen specialists in particular periods in the past.
And at that time, anthropologists were struggling to establish that modern Greece had a story to tell in its own right and didn't always have to be tied to its ancient past. But Jack said, just come on the Chaos Project. Do your work as a cultural anthropologist to understand the contemporary communities in this area, and then we'll see what comes of that.
It's a really difficult, arduous work. Walking out from a base headquarters into fields before the sun rises in the morning and working until mid-afternoon, day after day after day.
We were collecting material, looking down for so many hours, that even when we were back, we still were looking down. It became a habit after a while. But we had a lot of fun.
We were so filled with zeal at this point in time, and wanting to spread the word of our technique as broadly as we could. We were so interested in training other people who would then go on and carry out work of the sort that we had carried out here. And I think we're remarkably successful.
The Nemea Valley Archaeological Project was a collaborative, affiliated project of the American School. So I asked Jack if he would come and he planned a systematic survey of the entire valley to document evidence of human activity from the Paleolithic to the 1980s.
Jack was the overall director when we collaborated with a much larger group on the Pylos Regional Archaeological Project, or PRAP, as we're proud to call it, which lasted until the mid-1990s. He was impressively engaged in both modern Greek history and, of course, the archaeology from prehistory through to later time.
So we're now entering Hora, and we're driving down Blagan Street. And finds from our excavation and Blagan's excavations will be in this new museum. It was through Blagan that I fell in love with the prehistory of Greece, but Blagan's interests were really broad. And that colored the direction of my own scholarship. Blagan started as a philologist, but he came to the American School of Classical Studies and he fell in love with the prehistory of Greece. And then when he came down here to Pylos, the finds were so amazing that it would be impossible for him to walk away from them. He discovered the first archive of tablets written in Linear B. And they led to the decipherment of Linear B as the earliest written form of Greek that we have. And he found the entirety of a Mycenaean palace, which doesn't exist even at Mycenae, because Mycenae was built over and the Mycenaean remains were disturbed. But here we got the whole thing. We hadn't really thought about excavating here on top of the hill because Blagan had done it all. But when we started here in the 1990s, we immediately realized there were a lot of basic jobs that needed attention. And that's really where Sherry came into the picture. And she discovered amazing things like 30,000 fragments of wall paintings that we didn't know about. She worked on this for a lot of years, together with graduate students and Greek archaeologists.
Κατάγομαι από το διπλανό χωριό από εδώ τον άκρο που λέγεται Χώρα Τριφυλίας. Μεγάλωσα εκεί. Ήρθε η ομάδα του Τζακ και δούλευαν εκεί, οπότε πάντα με ιντρίκαρε αυτό που έκαναν. Πέρασαν τα χρόνια. Αποφάσισα να σπουδάσω αρχαιολογία, τελείωσα το πανεπιστήμιο και βρέθηκα να δουλεύω μαζί τους από τότε.
We began excavation in this particular area because, to be perfectly honest, we had no place else to work. At the same time, we knew that Blagan had found nothing in this field. So we were all prepared to find nothing.
In the first days of the excavation, there was a lot going on that Jack and I needed to attend to logistically. But we were in the bank actually getting money to pay the workmen.
And at that point, we got a text message from one of our graduate students who was supervising the excavation.
You better come quickly, we found bronze. And that's when we knew that we had something totally amazing.
This is our third gold ring.
Pretty.
And it's full of material.
What do you mean?
It has beads inside of it and And then we've got another seal and a
In other words,
large amethyst bead.
is that what you're talking?
Pretty amazing.
It was actually the first gold I'd ever excavated, so I was pretty excited about it. But then more and more gold followed.
Διάφορα ευρήματα που βγαίνανε στο φως, τους σφραγιδόλιθους, τα σφραγιστικά δαχτυλίδια, τα χτένια, τα κύπελα, τα χρυσά. Ήταν πραγματικά ένας βομβαρδισμός ευρημάτων.
Hold it up.
We had this code word for gold. We called them pebbles. Είχαμε επιστρατεύσει όλοι μας την εφευρετικότητα για να λειτουργήσει καλά η ανασκαφή, να εφυλάσσεται ο χώρος. We've needed to hire specialized conservators who know how to treat corroded bronze and silver, and we have a lot of ivory in the grave as well.
It would have been an absolute disaster to find the Griffin warrior at the beginning of my career, because one major factor that contributed to its success is the network of friends that we have in Greece that we can call on for help. Καλημέρα κύριε Πανούη.
Καλημέρα.
Τι κάνουμε?
Καλά είστε?
Ποιος άλλος είναι εδώ? Πώς πάει? Καλά. Χρωστώ τίποτα στη σχολή? Καλημέρα κύριε Πανό. Αυτός ήταν ο καθηγητής μου στο Πανεπιστήμιο του Cincinnati και ο Μπλέγεν που ήταν καθηγητής του καθηγητή μου.
Jack was elected director of the American school in a time of global crisis, and he managed to make the school very friendly, open, tolerant.
Σήμερα είμαι vegetarian.
Are you vegetarian?
Jack's experience was invaluable in helping me think about what it meant to be a director and the things to do and perhaps the things to avoid as well.
I have many loves at the American school, but the archives are my special place. That's where I go simply because they make me happy.
I'm grateful to Jack Davis for first inspiring me to unearth Triumph Over Time from the school's archives and research the history of its making.
We know that we can depend for help on the staff of the American school, on the staff of the Wiener Lab, the staff of the Agora, the administrative staff of the school, and the various directors, and the librarians, and pretty much everybody else. Those connections, both Greek and American, are friendships that I still maintain today and which I draw today. We're all colleagues, and we're all working together and helping each other in whatever ways we can.
Come up, please. Rob, yeah, please. Here you go. And then I'll give you your line here. Mark, please come up. Ladies and gentlemen, come closer. That's good. Kathy, please. Right over here, right over here. Mark, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause as we invite Jack Davis to the stage. And Shari also. Shari also.
Right here.
Shari.
All right, all right.
The longest applause.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, I hereby present the 2026 Athens Prize to Jack L. Davis for outstanding contributions to the advancement of knowledge of ancient Greece.
You go right here.
Don't drop it.
Okay, can we pull the...
I've been asked to announce that the auction is closing immediately after my speech. I was asked to announce other things which I'm not going to announce. I'll go straight to my prepared remarks. I'm really grateful to Rob, to Alex Zagoreos, and my fellow trustees for honoring me with this distinction. As an overseer of the Gennadius Library, I would like, in addition, to congratulate Andreas Zobanakis, our chairman, Maria, the director, and her staff on the occasion of their centenary. Maria. It's been a privilege to serve the school in both capacities since the conclusion of my directorship in 2012. Thank you to Kathleen and Bana for your good words, and thank you also to Nikos Dayandas, the director of this incredibly moving film that you've just seen. And I would, of course, be remiss not to thank George and the American School's U.S. staff, and Bana's staff in Greece, and to my colleagues in Cincinnati who have contributed to the film or to the organization of this evening's magnificent event. Over the past weeks and days, I've been asked by several friends and colleagues how it is that a boy from a small town in Ohio ended up spending most of his life in Greece. I'm not Greek. That must be pretty obvious. The first Greek to move to my hometown of Apple Creek, Ohio, of course, bought my grandfather's restaurant. But I was long gone by then. I guess I must lay the credit or blame for my being here tonight squarely on the shoulders of my parents, good teachers, and the Boy Scouts of America. I was what today we call a first-generation college student. My mother a secretary, my father a barber. My parents, nonetheless, never questioned my decision to major in classics, which must have seemed to them at the time a very odd choice. and my mother's sacrifice to pay for my first trip to the Mediterranean. The plan on that trip was to travel to Egypt, Israel, Turkey, and Greece in 1971 with my great friend Larry Stack, who's with us tonight. The Boy Scouts piqued my curiosity about the American past, as did the Native American arrowheads that littered farmers' fields near my village. I was lucky that Latin was offered already in my elementary school in a town of fewer than 1,000 individuals. I was even more fortunate at the University of Akron, a state university in Ohio, to be taken under the wing of a dedicated coterie of classics professors. These men and women instilled in me a broad view of classics, one that embraced history, ancient languages, and archaeology, with equal respect for all aspects of the inquiry. On graduation, they sent me to Cincinnati, another public university that shared that perspective, where both Kathleen and I teach still. And this is where the American School comes into play. There was never any question in my mind that I would eventually go there. The school is a consortium of some 200 institutions, public and private. Cincinnati has contributed 3 directors to this remarkable intercollegiate experiment, as its founders called it. The American School is the grandest graduate school imaginable, where students from all types of institutions mingle, public and private. All that matters is merit, a commitment to Greek studies, and a shared respect for Greek heritage. And there I made lifelong friends of all nationalities. I'm thrilled to be welcomed this evening into the company of those who received the Athens Prize before me: John Camp, Malcolm Wiener, Ron Stroud, Ed Cohen, and Mary Lefkowitz. And to be in the presence of so many friends from Cincinnati and Athens. And Kataklidi, I'm delighted that my son, Christopher, is with us this evening. He knows Greece well, but also the long familial separations that archaeological projects can demand. He came to Kea as an infant. He and his brother Philip were at Nemea, Pylos, and with me as adults in Athens when I was director. I would share this award with them and with my dear wife and colleague Sherry, whom I discovered in Greece in 1984. And who now, for 2 decades, has made Greece her home. Thank you all.
Round of applause for Jack Davis. I want to thank Jack and everyone here tonight for your presence. We really thank you for joining us this evening. It's a special night, and the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, as you saw, is a really special place. We thank you for really participating in the program and giving your attention to the films and to the speakers. That really warms our hearts. As we conclude our program tonight, I want to inform you the auction now is closing at 9:55. We're not moving it. Yeah, we're good. At that time, you're going to be going to the back to check out where you came in from. And just please do so in a, timely manner, but stay and enjoy yourselves. I will say, if you didn't look at, because we had so much stuff going on, take the Gala program home with you. It's a commemorative edition. It has a little history of the American School and some great things that are in there. Don't forget the gifts at your table, because George doesn't want to carry them home. Okay? No, and they're great. And also, when you leave, remember, I don't know what the slide says behind me, but you know, you're going to be getting that book, Homer and the Gennadius, one per couple, one per person, whatever. And we do encourage you, though, the evening's not over. Stay, enjoy, talk, enjoy each other's company. We hope you had a wonderful time, but we hope this is just the beginning. The American School is about relationships at the end of the day. The relationships between scholars and the collection, the relationship between Americans and Greece. I mean, have you seen all these Phil Hellenes? I mean, we're Greek Americans and we've taken our culture and we've come out with bouzouki and souvlaki. I think there's a little bit more than that, right? Right? So that, yeah. Not all of us, but you know. There's a place for those Ashkenazi, as Fokion said last night. But we really hope you'll come and see for yourself. Okay, at the back of the book, there's a QR code. When you go to Greece, before you run to the islands, on a weekday, between 9 to 5, no national holidays, you schedule a tour. Okay, and come and see the collection and see the people. And by the way, here's a little secret. When you're looking at the collection, the first printed edition of Homer, when you're going to the Lab for Archaeological Science, if you're going to the Aegean Library, whatever you're seeing, as they're explaining things, don't focus on the collection. Focus on the person telling the story. That's what's special. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Next year, same time, same place, Thursday, May 6th.